Hey, what's up, you guys? Hold on, I'm working on my volume here. I just wanted to pop in here real quick. About to go get Ollie. And this was actually on my list to talk about on Wednesday with you guys, but it came up in another group, and it's kind of been on my heart for a while. I've been coaching some other coaches, some of my PS coaches through this, and I thought that if some of my coaches are having that problem, and maybe this problem is being seen, struggle is being seen in a leadership group, that maybe some of you guys are dealing with some of the same issues when it comes to social media and sharing your journey, your heart, the things that have worked for you, without coming across kind of like, I got my crap together, I don't know why you don't, figure it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that know-it-all mentality. And this is something that I was working with one of my leaders on, and all I did was I went and I was helping her. She's wondering why her social media wasn't getting very many likes, very many comments and stuff like that. So I started doing a social media edit and one of her page, and one of the first things I look at is what the feeling is that I'm getting from the person that's posting, because, and I'm going to dork out for just a second with you guys, so hang with me, but the limbic part of your brain it controls how you feel, and the decisions that you make, what you believe. The limbic part of the brain is like your belief part of your brain, how you feel, your emotions, but also your decision making. And I've talked with you guys about this a couple times, but I don't think we can hear enough, because we want to like, the more you understand that this part of the brain is going to control people's decisions, whether they decide to follow you, whether they decide to use what you have, whether they decide to join a challenge group, whether they decide to join your team, whether they decide to buy into what you're trying to share or the changes that you're making, all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to tap into this part of the brain. And since the decision making and the belief and the emotion, the feeling are all in the same part of controlled by the same piece, that means to get people to make a decision, you have to tap into their belief. You have to tap into their emotions, their feelings. You have to connect. We are hardwired to connect. That is so important to understand. So your social media has to come across in a connection way. So the first thing I did is I went to her page, and I'm honest when people ask me for help. I don't try to sugarcoat it. That doesn't help anybody. Do you know what I mean? To kind of beat around the bush, or you know what I mean? I assume that you're here learning, or if someone's asking me for help, or if you're asking for help, or if you're here listening to this webinar, you just want someone to tell you what to do. Like, listen, I'll do it. I'm going to push the I believe button. Like, I'm coachable. I'm a sponge. Just show me what to do. We don't need to beat around the bush or sugarcoat everything. That wouldn't get us anywhere. You know what I mean? And so when I went to her page, I'll be honest, I felt, and I'm moving my chair out of the way, like I felt like she was talking down on me like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, I'm here and you're down there, so get your shit together. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how it felt. I mean, she wasn't saying that, but like it was kind of like that kind of feeling. It's kind of like, have you ever seen a mom talking down to their kids down like that, and you kind of want to cringe for the child? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like a boom. You know what I mean? Whereas have you ever seen a mom that leans in with their child like this, like, hey, you know what I mean? Gets eye level, connects with them, connects to their limbic part of the brain, their feelings, their emotion, their decision making. That's the part with children that you have to connect with, because that part of the brain, the part of the brain that's feeling and has emotion, is also one that's going to cause them to make their decision, whether to listen to you or not, whether to obey you or not, whether to honor you or not. All the same part of the brain, right? And so if we never make that connection, if we don't tap into their emotions, their feeling, their belief system, you can't get them to make the decisions that you feel is best for them. Does that make sense? Okay? So in leadership, which is what you're doing on social media, you have been entrusted with people in your life to have influence over. You decide what you do with that influence. Either you're going to drag people down on social media, or you're going to lift people up. That's completely up to you. Whether people are in business or not for Beachbody or for whoever, they are in business for themselves. They're in business for their brand. They're in business for their husband. You guys are all crazy if you think that your husbands or wives, employers don't watch what you're doing on social media. Isn't that crazy that we could boost our spouse's likelihood of being promoted by how we carry ourselves on social media, how we carry ourselves in public, around people? Are we honorable? Are we making a connection? Or do we talk down like this at people? And so that part is so important. But since we're here talking about this business, we're not going to talk about our husbands or our spouses. we're going to talk about how to make this business and social media, how to really connect with people. A genuine connection is vital, not a talking down connection. Okay? That doesn't make anybody. You might get your kids, or you might get your coaches, or you might get those first people to make a decision out of fear. Right? Like your kids might make a decision out of fear to do something because they fear you, because you're coming down like that, like a hammer on them. Right? Have you ever been around someone that leads with the hammer? Like, on social media, you can tell, bam! They are just ready to hammer someone. They're just ready to place judgment on someone, right? And so you can get so far with that in parenting, right? With fear, with leading with the hammer, right? Or you can get so far with carrots, right? Leading with the hammer or the carrot. Lead for God's sake. That book, if you haven't read it, you need to read it. But you get so much further with people. You get lifers when you lead with the heart. And that is what has to come across on social media. I don't care what your gem is. I don't care what your personality is. We are hardwired for connection, and ain't nobody going to follow you if they feel like you're coming down like this. Because of how they feel, their emotions, which is in the same part of that limbic part of the brain. Okay, that makes the decision, right? So go to your social media and ask yourself, are you telling a story that comes from this? So let me tell you, when Griffin and I sit down to talk about something he's done wrong, I lead with a story. It's a time that I've done it wrong. You want to know why? Because instead of coming down like this on him, I'm like this. Like my heart is wide open. Like, look, I've done it before too. This is what I learned. This is how I moved through it. This is what was a consequence of mine when I did it this way. But when I went and I corrected and I went this way, and that's all I'm trying to help you with. So I go in with that. So when we're sharing on social media, whether it be something you've learned in nutrition, something you've learned in balancing your lifestyle, maybe scheduling on Sundays, or maybe parenting, or maybe how you've worked through depression or something like this. If you come with the hammer, no one's going to listen to you. If you come from get your shit together, I can't believe you're still where you're at, like that, no one's going to follow you. They're going to scroll right past you, probably going to block you, because no one, just like your kid will block you one day. He will block you out, he or she. They will be listening to you, but straight blocking you out. Like there is just nothing there. They'll tell you what you want to hear out of fear, and then when they move on, and when you're not around, they're going to do what they want to do, because you didn't connect to this part of the brain. Right? You didn't connect. Right? The same thing to get a life where you want your kids to be. This stuff works in life. Works at your day job, works with your kids, works in this business. It is rooftop leadership. Okay, you connect right here, right? And you can only do that from remembering where you came from. So I told you guys to take that piece of paper, fold it in half, before challenge groups, before coaching. Where was your life? Where were you at? What did you struggle with? Okay, these are the things so the summers of 7 years ago, and who I'm talking to. So I'm always coming back to where I was then and along the way, or when Chad and I struggled in our marriage or through deployments. I'm always coming back to that, okay? And sharing from I remember when. Always from my story. And I don't have it all together, and I don't have it figured out. But if I can share one thing that has helped Chad and I, if it just connects with one person, this helped us. And so I don't know if it can help you. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're struggling like Chad and I have. I don't know if you're struggling and feel imprisoned in your own skin, or like you're imprisoned to the number on the scale and it defines you. I don't know if that's where you're at. But if you are, this is something that helped me. And that's how your posts should feel. They locate themselves in you. They locate themselves in your story, their belief. They see hope through you. Their emotions attach. They start to see that what you did could help them. They make a decision over time to use what you've had, whether it be a tip for scheduling, a tip for how to cook differently, a tip, for the Whole30, or to go vegan, or what it is. If you are coming down like this and criticizing people that don't eat the Whole30, can you imagine if all I did was talk about the Whole30? I eat so clean. But I talked to the people of the summers of 7 years ago that were yo-yo dieters. That were yo-yos. You know what I mean? They don't need, listen, the summer of 7 years ago was so stuck, had already beat herself up so much. Every single day, she was her worst critic. She didn't need someone else to beat her up. She didn't need someone else on social media beating her up. She needed someone else saying, I get you. I've been there. There's a way out. Listen to me. I'm going to be right here. This is how we do it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I needed. And I needed that in business, and I needed that in life. I needed that when I was struggling in my marriage. You see what I'm saying? I needed grace. And so I got to give grace. So if my social media posts come across harsh, Summer 7 years ago isn't going to connect to that. That belief that she can do it too is not going to be there for her to make a decision to say, you know what? Maybe that Summer girl can help me. Maybe I could go there. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could do what she's done. You can't paint that picture for them unless you're painting the whole picture continually. Because if you're filling your funnel correctly, you're getting new people on social media every single day. If you're doing it correctly, every single day through free groups or whatever, there are new people. There are 5 to 10 new people every single day. So you have to retell that story and retell that story and retell that story. Some of you don't want to tell the story because you're afraid that your mom's sick of hearing your story. You know what I mean? We're trying to reach not your mom. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully she'll come around, but let's reach the people that you've been entrusted with that keep getting added by telling your story. Like, I don't know if you're where I'm at. I have no idea. And this is where I was. But this is a tip that helped me. Your Facebook lives have to come across like that. They have to be authentic. You have to be able to talk about your past. You have to be able to be vulnerable, right? And if you struggle with that, Daring Greatly is a great book to start, but that is required. And where we are, you know, it might have worked in social media a long time ago, being that, like, coming down on people like that, like, listen to me, shut up and follow directions, listen to me. That might have worked a long time. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. People are changing. Social media is changing. There's too much connection. The people, how they're wired is coming back to how they go long time ago around the campfire. They're getting back to that. Right? They don't want to be around people like this. They want to be around people that rooftop leader. Like, follow me. I got your back. Let's run into that building together. I got you. See what I'm saying? And that is exactly what has to come across in social media, which is so key to me because I'm telling you, if you try to come across perfect, it's going to eat you alive. That idea of perfectionism, it doesn't exist. It's actually the lowest standard that you can have for yourself because it's unobtainable. It is unattainable. So if you have a perfectionist mentality, it is the lowest standard that you can have for yourself because you can't obtain it and you know it, and there's an easy way out. It's unobtainable, right? And so people are craving vulnerability. People are craving for those walls to come down, and that's exactly where business is going. That is exactly where social media is going. Chalene Johnson said, and I shared this at Summit, the people that can tell their story the best are the people that are going to be able to reach the most people. And the people that reach the most people are going to be the people that make the most money because this marketplace pays for people that can solve big problems. And if you can reach people by being vulnerable and have a solution, boom, business. Out of this world. Out of this world. But your social media. So this is what I want you guys to do. I got to go get Ollie. I want you guys to go look at your social media. I want you to scroll through it. Is there a connection? Like, try to look at it from a brand new person because you're bringing in new people every single day. You're friending new people. You're making connections every single day. There are new people on your newsfeed every single day. Okay? What does it look like from that viewpoint? Ask somebody else to look at it. Find someone on your team to ask them to look at it. And they asked for honest feedback. I know that's something we struggle with in our society is giving honest feedback and receiving honest feedback, but to go higher, you have to be able to work through that, right? You have to be able to not just take the feedback, but then make the changes. So find someone to give you that feedback, right? And work through it and make those changes. Look yourself. Chat, I haven't left to go get Ollie yet. I don't know, am I going to be late? Anyway, so you have to look at your Facebook from that perspective, from a connection perspective. Tell your story. Tell your story every single day. And if you're struggling with how you tell your story, there'll probably be a training coming out that you'll be able to hook up with that Scott Meehan is going to do, and he's asked Chad and I to help him kind of like add some value to it. But this, you can't build a business. You will be better parents if you learn how to tell your story. They will follow you. Your kids will follow you anywhere you want them to, anywhere you go. whether that be in your faith, whether that be in fitness, if you make that connection with them. And so will your spouse, and so will your kids, but not from the hammer. No one follows that crap. No one follows that crap. Boom, push it. I don't want anything to do with that. That person that's willing to lean in with me and connect and be real and raw and share their scars and their wounds, I'm in. I can trust you. I can't trust someone that's perfect. I can't trust someone that is talking down to me. They're hiding something. Someone that's talking like this, right away I'm like, you're hiding something. You're hiding something. You're hiding something. You're hiding something. It puts me on alert because we're hardwired to sniff that out. Okay, so it's fun to me because all you have to do to be successful is be you. That's it. That's the key. You don't have to try to be someone else. You don't have to. Social media world of having it all together and having all the tips and having that pretty blog and having that pretty website and having all that pretty training and those pretty pictures, that is gone. Isn't that a relief? That is gone. It doesn't have to be pretty. All you have to do is be you. All you have to do is share your scars and share what you're doing to work through those things, through those obstacles, through those struggles, and share it with other people in a genuine way. Take my arm, take my hand. We'll work through this together. That's what people want. That's all you have to do. That means anybody can build this. And I truly feel there are people that are directly connected to you, your mission, and your vision. And so the sooner you're willing to share your heart and lead with your heart, the sooner you're going to make those connections, and the faster your influence is going to grow, and that is what builds a business. You guys have an awesome Monday. I love you guys. Bye.